Okay. So we finish off the week, this long 4-movie weekend. Actually, not weekend, week. Feels like a weekend.
Yeah. If only it was a weekend, we'd have more free time.
I wish. Anyway, so we end this week with the oddest of the bunch. With Wes Anderson's The Grand Budapest Hotel. For Wes Anderson, I'm not a huge Wes Anderson fan, although I do enjoy his work. You kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
That being said, I really like this movie.
It's just another Wes Anderson movie. It's like, what else can you say? It's very weird, quirky, dry, and deadpan.
And yet, for some reason, it works. It has no right to work. For all intents and purposes, it should not work, but for some reason, it does.
Yeah. Because he finds a way to, like, make the strange seem, like, commonplace.
Well, it's like...
Well, not even commonplace, but it's just like... sorry, wrong term. It's just like... It makes it seem so natural.
Well, he invents a world where all, like, the quirkiness of the deadpan is natural, like you said.
Yeah.
So, like, it makes sense based on the rules the movie establishes very early on. And one thing I kind of noticed about this movie that I'm surprised I haven't noticed in other Wes Anderson movies is the fact that they're deliberately designed and filmed to look cheap.
Yeah.
Which is something I didn't notice before for some reason. Like how all like the carriages and all that stuff when they're like doing a wide shot are all look like they're cheap little cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, it's almost like a diorama.
Yeah, diorama. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, like a weird, like basically diorama museum piece.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. It's kind of hard to talk about because like if you're not a Wes Anderson fan and you don't know who he is, he's like impossible to describe. At least as to why it works. And if you are a Wes Anderson fan, you pretty much already know everything we're going to say. Yeah. So, might as well say it anyway. So, for those who don't know what the movie's about, or haven't heard it for whatever reason, although the ad campaign for this has actually been surprisingly good, especially for a Wes Anderson movie. I don't think it was this strong for Moonrise Kingdom, was it?
It did alright, but nothing spectacular. From
everything was packed. It looked like there was a big line of them when we were leaving, too.
Yeah.
So, apparently there's a larger cult following than I was aware of.
Mm-hmm.
But, basically it's about, what else? The Grand Budapest Hotel, run by, actually it's surprising. I did not know Jude Law was going to be in this.
I completely forgot. Because then again, this movie just has, like, a very great cast in general. Like, it's kind of, a lot of people kind of get lost in the mix.
Like, who do we have? We had Jude Law, we have, of course, Voldemort, whose name I forget.
Ray Fiennes.
F.
Murray Abraham.
Yep, and you have Bill Murray, of course. Yeah. Bill fucking Murray.
Tilda Swinton. Oh God, sorry, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Adrian Brody.
Willem Dafoe. Yeah. It's such a great cast.
It's a possible George Clooney cameo. We don't know.
Yeah. I still don't know, but
I mean, George Clooney's worked with Wes Anderson before, so it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if he cameoed. But
yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
Harvey Keitel.
Oh yeah, Harvey Keitel. And
did we say Edward Norton?
Oh, I forgot Edward Norton.
Yeah.
The Hulk, yes. Anyway, so basically starts out with this book author played by, I know the actor, he was in a couple, like, wasn't he was in a conspiracy movie a while back. What am I thinking of? You know the actor I'm talking about, though, right? The guy who introduced the movie?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I couldn't figure out who the heck that was.
Like, I know I've seen him, he's done, like, damn it, it's like I'll tell my tongue. I'll come back to it. Like, I'll think about it and it'll come to me.
I'll look it up on the internets in the meantime. Actually,
he did some very long exposition for a big movie. I'm trying to remember what it is.
Wow, that narrows it down so much.
I know, thank you. On one hand, I want to say thank you, Captain Smartass, but on the other hand, I would have made that exact same joke, so I can't really judge. Yeah. Anyway, basically it starts out from an older author, then it flashes back to the younger author played by Jude Law, who goes to talk to the other owner named Zero, who then goes into his own flashback. So really, the movie's a flashback within a flashback, which goes back into.
No, it's like it's not even that. It's like you're basically getting the live action reading of what this girl's reading a book for. She's reading copy.
Oh yeah, I forgot it starts out at the grave.
Yeah. So it starts off as a reading of a flashback of a flashback. It's like, what in the name of God?
And on a side note, I liked how, like, at the very beginning, like, the reading is played off like a cheap Hollywood production.
Yeah.
Like, how it only starts off when, calm down, I'll turn it.
Yeah. Yay, air! But,
window lock's on, that's why. There you go. Okay. So quit your bitching. So, anyway, we have this flashback of the reading within a flashback and then a flashback where Zero is describing his story to Jude Law over dinner, in which case he is a young stable boy named, well, of course, Zero, who gets taken under the wing of, what's the
It's still
character's
Gustav.
name? Gustav.
Yeah, I don't know. This is all I hear.
Gustav, who's, of course, played by Voldemort, whose name I can never freaking remember.
Rafe Fiennes.
Rafe Fiennes.
I don't know if it's Ralph Fiennes or Rafe. I hear Rafe, so.
Man, whatever. One way or the other. Either way, who is just having so much damn fun with this part.
Yeah.
He's mostly the reason this movie works, because of course he has the most screen time of all the other characters. And goddamn, he's found that perfect, like, almost classical delivery to say some of the weirdest lines in the movie.
It's like he's the most sarcastic. It's basically like the typical kind of cultured but sarcastic British type.
Pretty much. So, like, when he say, but it sounds so refined that whenever he says words like candy ass or stuff like that, it just comes off really funny. We'll get to that, because that's pretty funny. At least that's part that made me laugh the most. And of course, what happens is he basically screws around with all the older women that come to his hotel. Most people come to the hotel for him. It's why they present as like this big old bachelor kind of a guy. And
he's just like basically he's the talk of the town. He's the guy that everybody wants to know, meet, and be with.
Yeah, maybe is it a British thing? Because I kind of have to wonder. All the people, they're always British. Have you noticed that? James Bond, and now this guy, and I'm sure some other ones I can't think of off the top of my head, but they're out there, I'm sure. But I digress. So what happens in the movie is that he's very good friends with an older woman who's very mother of a very, very important family. Yeah. And she croaks due to poison. A spoiler. It's in the trailer. It's not spoiling anything. Yeah. Who in the last Will and Testament entrusts like a famous painting called Boy with Apple to Gustav, and that sets off his whole series of conspiracies and framings where Gustav gets framed and thrown in jail and blah 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 blah. Wild antics ensue. You kind of know the drill. Honestly, the story is not the most important part of the movie. Like
it's all the characters and the interactions they have.
Exactly, and again, it's weird to like a movie like this when all the actors are deliberately deadpan. Like, again, there is no reason this should work, but Wes Anderson pulls it off because he makes it part of the world. Yeah. Like, that's really what makes it work. Like, and it helps that they're actually very talented actors doing this very deadpan shit. Like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything yet.
Like I say, Willem Dafoe is a good example of this because he barely talks the whole movie.
And yet he plays like the most hilariously, like, it's simultaneously hilarious and imposing.
Yeah, because he's missing some teeth. He has all these rings with just like skulls on them that act like brass knuckles. He's like the enforcer. He's just always in kind of like that heavy like foreboding light. It's just Willem Dafoe being Willem Dafoe. Like, he always looks like this on the movie. Like, and he says like 1-2 word sentences, give or take. And he has a little rip-off pocket that has a gun and a little bottle of whiskey. That's all he has. Oddly enough, the one with the most energy in this movie is, oddly enough, Adrian Brody has the most energy in this movie. I think the first line he says is after Gustav is told that he's gotten the Boy with Apple. Yeah, now it's a good time to roll down the windows. I don't even feel comfortable saying it. So, he says something very obscene that, quite frankly, me as a potty mouth doesn't even feel comfortable saying out loud because I just feel like a bad person. But Jesus Christ. Just go see the movie.
Many a gay slur.
The gay slur. That's yeah. But I was like, dude, you can't say that anymore.
It's at the same time, just like, it's almost going to like, I feel like I want to say the line just because it's so damn funny, but at the same time, I can't do the line justice.
No, neither can I, and I just feel like I'm already in hot shit enough for the other shit I've said on this show.
Oh, how many complaints have you gotten?
Well, theoretically, in my mind, I've received millions. In reality, I've received 0. But
you received more complaints than views.
Oh, actually, no, I haven't.
Sorry, I'm just...
You're a dick.
So apparently, so we received 6 or 8 complaints to the FCC, and of course, 1 complaint equals 1 billion angry people. Meaning 8 billion people were offended.
Yeah, but sums it up, doesn't it? Surprisingly, no, we haven't got to make any complaints considering the horrible shit that I've said. Granted, I've immediately apologized for after realizing I said something completely horrible. Which, by the way, apologies for that again if you know what I'm talking about. Go watch the review for Vampire Academy. Anyway.
Sure!
Let me rephrase that. Skip to about 2/3 of the way through the review for Vampire Academy.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Oh my god, even I'm offended by this.
It's one of those moments where I said it and I didn't realize quite what I said. Wes is like, what is wrong with you? But I didn't care to elaborate on what exactly was wrong until I thought about it. I was like, oh dear God! And you can see in the video when that moment happens too. And
I hear O Fortuna playing in the background.
Yeah, pretty much.
That epic opera while you're just like,
oh my God. So,
back to the review.
Back to the review. It's hardly the first time we've gotten off topic.
This tangent's brought to you by the Grand Budapest Hotel, now in theaters.
I see what you did there. Whimsical. Anyway, so... So the movie basically follows that Gustav gets framed and thrown to prison, and it goes from their escape to strange wild children running through the garage.
I don't remember that part in the movie. Unless you... Well, no, there were no strange wild child, just one child who was constantly harassed for being an immigrant.
Yeah, poor Zero. With this little drawn-on mustache. But it does such a good job building this atmosphere and building this world and all the silliness and all the craziness that happens, and it just makes complete sense. And of course, there's great one-liners. Like, it's established early on that Gustav used to like give us like poetry readings to all his staff members while they're trying to eat very quickly. Yeah. So he gets thrown in prison. Zero takes over by reading a letter from him, and it ends with, now, we have a poem here that we like to read. We should start the soup because it's 47 stanzas. Yeah.
So you hear everybody eating just like while he's reciting this poem. It's
just like that. It's very fast paced, and a lot of the best jokes are so completely abrupt.
Yeah. And subtle, like the one where there's a prison escape. Like I said, the one I was just laughing is it was so like such dry humors. When they're in the middle of a prison escape. Early on, before this happens, he's going around. He's the guy that gives food to all the prisoners, or Ray Fiends. So anyway, when he gives food to this one giant guy, he just like you thought he was gonna kick his ass. But it's like, this food's pretty good. You're welcome. Of course, the guy doesn't say this is pretty good, but
it's like approval nod, and then they walk.
So
off.
Anyway, at some point, this guy's trying to snitch on him, and he just kills him in the prison cell. And when he goes to the window, it's just, it's you sweet. Kind man. It was just, it's one of those ones where like I didn't think about it till like a few seconds ago, just like, yeah. It's just,
it's hard to explain why it makes Wes Anderson movies funny.
It was just, it was great ironic juxtaposition of, what had just happened.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought that was hysterical, in terms of its subtlety.
That, of course, even like some of the pratfalls are pretty funny in this movie. Like, the way, spoiler alert, Willem Dafoe dies cracked me the fuck up. Because what happens is, we get a pretty ridiculous sequence where, like, after they've gone...
Yeah. It looks like kind of a fast-forwarded stop-motion, like, little... These figurines just, like, going through these little pathways.
Okay, so let me take a step back for a second to explain a little bit. So after they escape prison, Zero and Gustav are on, like, an adventure trying to, like, find the butler, who supposedly ratted out Gustav, but really didn't in the framing, but he does know the actual truth, which was that there was a second will about that was to be opened on if she died from murder or something ridiculously specific like that. So they go to a church, they hear from the butler, but the Defoe kills the butler before he tells them where the will is. So then they go on this chasing where just Defoe, at random, just gets on skis and goes. Yeah. And then they get on a sled and pushing off like the statue of the Virgin Mary, and then get on the sled. And then like it's slow start, but you see like what do you call it? What do you call the shot when it's like above the ground? Aerial shot, thank you. The aerial shot. It just goes little figurine just going bzz, bzz, and then the next thing they're going through like winter Olympic obstacle courses.
It is like this guy, Defoe is like the ultimate, supposed to be like professional badass. So it's like he's going through like all these flags, and of course these guys on sledges.
And you see like Gustav in the back going true, 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 as like all these things are whizzing past his head. Yeah. It's little jokes. It's a little touches that make it work. Yeah. And I think they kind of made fun of themselves a little bit too with the same sequence because they're going to. Can you go any fast? Can you stop? You can stop. You can slow down. It's like I can't even steer. In the very next shot, he clearly just makes a clear steer to the other side, like effortlessly.
Well, not as like he's steering like.
Well, still, I mean, still. But anyway, so towards the end, they pull a fucking Looney Tunes, and it cuts away to a shot where Defoe goes first, and they follow after, and then next thing, Defoe's on the side, just staying with his ski poles, and the sled goes off the cliff.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Defoe gets off, and he walks by the lobby boy who's
Zero,
who's nothing but feet on the snow. And Gustav is hanging on the ledge, and he starts like reading poetry, like the sad way to die. And he starts reading poetry, like it's gonna change Defoe's mind. No, Zero just comes back and just fucking shoves him off.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of this epic, it's just like, and so is my bleakest life, comes to a close. I'm ready to be taken to the heavens of praise. And Jesus fucking Christ!
And there goes Defoe. And then of course it's the cat. The cat made us both laugh. So backing up even further than that, there's a Jeff Goldblum plays a lawyer, like the deceased lawyer in this case, who Adrian Brody and his cronies are trying to convince to like put the whole thing to bed and just lay the whole thing on Gustav and move on from there. Even though Jeff Goldblum knows something's wrong, and he goes, Adrian Brody tries to, he's like, this is the way it's going to be, okay? And he goes, no, not okay. Meanwhile, Defoe is holding the cat. Adrian Brody gets up, runs out of the room, like angrily stomps out of the room. Defoe just goes, push, and like throws the cat off the cliff out the window, and Gold's like,
did you just throw my cat out the window? And when they run over to see the cat, it's like the most cartoonishly flat thing, like on the ground with like blood, and some guy
just like all four legs, just boom. Yeah. And then you see him carrying the cat with a bag later.
Like he actually pulls it out from the coat check with the claim ticket saying, one Persian cat dead.
That's another thing. There's a great cartoonish element to these movies. And again, it just kind of, it's a Wes Anderson movie. They all have a cartoonish element to it. They all have a very passive and yet spontaneous nature to it.
Yeah.
And that's really the best way I can describe it. Either that's gonna work for you or it's not.
Pretty much, it's very strange. It's almost like he finds a way to turn these things into like a child's story, I think is the best way to put it.
With adult humor. Yeah. Like I don't think you can say you fucking, you know what.
Oh. Somebody forgot to empty the memory card.
We'll be right back. You know what's bad when one file is like almost an hour's worth of footage.
Yeah.
So anyway, where were we? Yes, Grand Budapest, obviously. So we're just talking about the cat, right? So we were just talking about over.
Yeah, it's like basically
commercial break.
It's a very, as you said, it was a cartoonish, kind of cartoonish. It was like, it's almost like he's trying to make this thing like a child's presentation, like not to demean like the actual intelligence behind it, but
yeah, I mean there is a lot of intelligence behind it.
Yeah, it's like these characters are all very quirky. There's like subtle ticks to them,
and yet it also pretty much anything can happen. I guess that's kind of a part of the fun of it too. Like the part towards the very end with Owen Wilson in there for no fucking reason.
It's because Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson and Jeff Goldblum and Bill Murray.
It's just like Wes Anderson like calls all his friends and says, "Hey, who wants to make a cheap movie?"
Oh, Jason Schwartzman.
Which one's Jason Schwartzman?
Remember, he was the concierge in the beginning.
Oh, right. Okay. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other reoccurring gag, and I suddenly remembered. Is that there's, like, moments where people gotta realize, like, how strange some of these moments are. Because, like, every now and then you'll see someone just decide to, like, lean in. Just because it's like, what's going on here?
Like, especially towards the end, when the part where, I don't want to go too much into it, but Zero's girlfriend, like, takes the painting, and then if Adrian Brody sees her and chases after her, you see Edward Norton is there going, like...
Yeah! Like, or, like, when Zero's adults explain the story to Jude Law's character, you see, Schwartzman, just, like, in the middle of this important part of the story, just like...
It's like, here I am. Anyway, now bye. It's like kind of same with Bill Murray. It's like, hi, I'm Bill Murray. I'm I'm in Wes Anderson films. Goodbye, I'm Bill Murray. I love Bill Murray, but he's in this for like 5 fucking minutes. It's like, no, any movie is made better with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Just his very presence turns everything to gold. It's like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Except,
why did I suddenly forget the gag we were just talking about before?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
so, there's a part right after the jailbreak where he's talking his like Gustav is talking to Zero, but like, oh, can you get a safe house? I couldn't get a safe house. You get to change clothes? I couldn't get change clothes. Well, do you get the perfume? Cologne? No, I couldn't get the cologne. He goes, what is wrong with you? You're a poor immigrant. He goes, rips him apart for like 5 straight minutes. And he goes, why do you leave your home if you're an immigrant who's no better off here? And he goes, well, it's because my family died in the war.
Yeah.
And he goes,
oh, so that practically makes you a refugee then. Exactly that. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me for everything I've said.
And he just like starts praising him like, you're the best lobby boy in the world.
It's just like, no, it's quite alright. You're mad at me for, forgetting the stuff. It's like, no, it's just, it's
just stuff like that.
It's like reminiscent of Monty Python when, sweet Conrad, I shall avenge your death. Actually, I think I might be alright. It's like, it was just like that.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
message for you, sir.
Yeah. And like, it's also good, like, I love this movie just kind of like, it's very anticlimactic in like, these, like, abrupt moments, kind of like you're talking about, like, the way the main villain's killed, the way it's just, like, these characters suddenly make reparations, they're just saying, like, these terrible things, and, like, this major fuck-up, like, that no one take, like, 30 minutes for, like, any kind of resolution.
Or, like, here's another good example, just random things that anything can happen in this movie, is the part where they're on the 6th floor, towards the very end of the movie, we're on the 6th floor.
Oh, yeah! The 18 moment!
And Adrian Brody is chasing Gustav and the Zero, and he's shooting at him, and all of a sudden, like, army guys from the other doors goes, who's shooting? Bam, bam, bam!
Yeah.
And that's like, there's a huge firefight on the 6th floor now, just going back and forth.
And the amazing thing is, nobody gets killed.
Nobody gets killed.
It's just like...
And then one goes, who's shooting who? Well, I'm shooting him. I was shooting him. Why?
Yeah. It's like, I know, just everyone knows, it's like, nobody move, you're all under arrest. And it's just...
You know what this is? I just gotta realize, Wes Anderson is like adult Looney Tunes.
Americanized, or yeah, it's just
like Americanized adult Looney Tunes.
Yeah, well, it's already adult and Americanized stuff, but I mean, like... Sorry, when he said that, because I thought back to, like, other directors, like, was it Stephen Chow, who did Kung Fu Hustle, which was, martial arts Looney Tunes, and then...
No, I'm like, that one's, this is my point, it's like, it's played...
Yeah.
Like, it just has that nature of it, like, all the wacky things fit within the world, and anything can happen. Yeah. Kind of like a Looney Tune cartoon.
That actually is a good way to describe it, now that I think about it.
Because, like, the Defoe thing's a perfect example. Only in a Wes Anderson movie can you pull that off. And it's not just a straight-up obnoxious comedy.
Yeah.
Like, it fits, it works, it shouldn't work, but it does, much like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
It's got slapstick, it's got fast humor, it's got surprising amount of adult content.
Yeah. Oh god, the painting switch. And I love how they also made fun of the fact that no one noticed that.
Okay, this was a pretty funny moment too, where after Gustav basically realizes shit's about to go down, they go up basically take the boy with the apple painting before, people start to come after him. Yeah. And they escape, but they swap it out with this picture of very obvious lesbian painting, nude and all.
Yeah, it's like some, like, Japanese sumi painting of, like, 2 lesbians.
The 2 lesbians. And then it's not noticed until, like, the 3rd act in the movie where Adrian Brody looks and goes, what the fuck?
He's like, we thought you put it there because you stole the painting. I didn't steal the painting! It's just like...
It's just that kind of movie. It's adult Looney Tunes. Anything can happen. So, if that's what you're looking for, you're gonna love this movie. But if that's not your kind of humor, you're not gonna like it. I mean, it's not as funny as I would say the Lego movie's funny, but it's also not as straight a comedy as the Lego movie is.
Like, the movie does have a very good, like, very few good moments of, like, actual legitimate character development.
It has a very bittersweet ending, I thought, without giving anything away. Like, the ending is kind of very bittersweet. It wraps up all the character arcs nicely, more or less. Some of it kind of a throwaway line, but mostly the character we didn't care too much about anyway. So, but yeah, it's like the focus is on Gustav and Jiro, and that's where the strength of the movie is, and that's why, and it's because the relationship of the movie works. They do work very well off each other, and of course, they're both very talented actors. Yeah. I mean...
it's funny considering, like, was the guy who played Zero, I guess that was supposed to be his first major role.
He did a pretty good job for I mean, Anderson kind of has a reputation of, like, taking rookies, basically.
Yeah.
So he did that with Moonrise Kingdom, I'm sure. Not necessarily with Fantastic Mr. Fox. I'm pretty sure most people there were veterans.
Yeah, they were all professionals.
Yeah, because his voice acting work is kind of different ball game than live action. From personal experience, anyway. So yeah, you got anything else?
There really isn't much else to say. It's just a very weird, strange, but delightfully quirky and dry movie.
Speaking of strange, let's
yeah.
talk about the trailers.
Holy hell.
I don't remember this one very well, but
Under the Skin is basically, it looks like some psychosexual Scarlett Johansson movie, and like...
It's like trying to be 2001: A Space Odyssey a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, imagine, like, that weird freak-out moment in the end, except it all revolves around sex instead of space, and you get the idea of what the trailer was like.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's Scarlett Johansson, so, I might go see it anyway, but,
we can't even say anything about the trailer. It's like, we don't know what the hell we saw.
No, it was just a weird mind trip, and I had a beer before I came in there, so it's like, what the fuck am I watching?
I was sober! I don't drink at all! And I was like, what in the name of God?
Yeah, it was fucking weird. I don't remember this one very well. Dom Hemingway, do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, that's the one with another Jude Law movie.
Oh yeah, where Jude Law plays like the alcoholic dad, basically, right?
Well, basically, he comes across as like, supposed to be like this super British, like...
It's like the British version of Wolf of Wall Street, basically.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, he comes across as like something out of a... Yeah, basically comes across as like a character out of a... God, what's the guy who did Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels?
Oh, shit, I don't know.
Yeah, he comes across like one of those like super pumped up gangster types. And of course, it's just...
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
It could be good, could be bad. I don't know. I hope it's not high.
Basically just showing him trying to like reconnect with like, his family and whatnot after like some drunken stupor nearly kills him.
It's nothing we haven't seen before, but it all depends on the execution. And Jude Law is a talented actor. We both know this. So, So we'll see how that goes. Next one we got was Bad Words, which was Arrested Development guy.
Yeah, Jason Bateman. Basically getting his directorial debut.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things about this one.
I've heard mostly good.
I think it's got like 75 on Rotten Tomato right now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, basically think Bad Santa focused on a spelling bee and you get the idea.
Basically. But I'm more wondering where that kid's parents are, personally. They just let him run around with Jason Bateman and just... No supervision whatsoever. Just saying.
Yeah, especially if, like, culturally speaking, like, I can say from my relationship experience, she will tell you, no, that would never happen.
Yeah.
But still, it's a movie. It's just an excuse for, like, messed up shit to happen throughout.
Pretty much. So,
yeah.
Last one we...
Like, if you don't stop talking to me, I'm going to go to the pilot and tell him your bag is ticking.
We're still making those fucking jokes. I'm sorry, those jokes bother me. Like, it was funny, I'll give it that. I laughed. I felt bad about laughing, but I laughed. I'll
laugh no matter what. If it's funny, I don't care if it's offensive, I will laugh. I mean, as my appreciation for Gran Torino will so clearly tell you.
Fair enough. And last week, this one actually looks cute, I'll admit. La Weekend.
Yeah, yeah, basically just, it looks... It kind of reminds me of that After Sunset movie, or that trilogy.
It does have a little bit of that feel,
except with an older couple.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. And it's actually nice to see that particular actor get the spotlight for a change, because he's usually in the supporting roles.
I know I've seen him, I just can't think of
He's been in tons of movies. Yeah. He was in Hot Fuzz, he was in Harry Potter.
Oh, okay, I know. Okay, I know who he is.
I mean, he's been in tons of things, but he's always a supporting character. He's always kind of in the background. I think that...
Son of a...
I think what's the joke about him, where it's like he's that British actor you've always seen and you always know, but you can never remember the damn actor's name.
Yeah. Featuring another guy from Grand Budapest Hotel, also, Jeff Goldblum.
Well, everyone knows who Jeff Goldblum is.
Yeah, but just saying, it's kind of weird, like, there's the Jude Law connection, now there's the Jeff Goldblum connection.
Wait, how do you tie... Is Jeff Goldblum in the movie, too?
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's in The Weekend. Remember they showed him as
right. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, it looks cute. Like, it looks like a good, like, exploration of older couples, kind of what it means to stay married after all that time and stuff like that, where it looks like they don't always just fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of a delightful change of pace. So, you know, who knows? It could be cute.
Yeah.
So, yeah, final thoughts. You kind of already said your piece. I really like this movie. I wouldn't call myself a diehard Wes Anderson fan, but I do consider myself a fan. So if you've seen a style and you like a style, you're gonna like this movie, no problem. However, if it doesn't work for you, this one's not gonna change your mind.
Yeah,
I think it's
that sums it up.
So like that's the kind of thing. It's a Wes Anderson movie. You know what you're gonna get. It's still very sharply written, very well acted for what it's going for. Overall, I think it's a very good movie. So take that as you will. We'll be back next week or the week after. I might postpone things for a week because I got a ton of shit to do next week.
Plus, who wants to watch Need for Speed?
Hey, you fucking signed up for it.
Because I'm the resident video game guy.
And when has a video game adaptation ever been good?
Never.
You think you would learn?
Well, you need me to do some crappy movie at some point, so...
Didn't you just do Pompeii?
Oh, yeah. Done by constant video game director, Paul W.S. Anderson. God, I hate him.
So we got that. We got a few other shit that I don't have time to remember right now. So see you guys all next week.